This banana layer cake is full of banana flavour and it's incredibly moist without being overly sweet. Let's take a look at how to make it. You'll need 2 ripe bananas, or I'll show you a hack at the end of this tutorial to ripen bananas in just 10 minutes. Mash the bananas or use a blender or food processor, and add milk that's been out of the fridge for at least 2 hours so that it's at room temperature, instead of being chilled. Set these liquid ingredients aside for later. The other ingredients to prepare are your dry ingredients: all-purpose flour or plain flour, cinnamon, and baking soda. Whisk these together so that they all mix evenly into the cake batter later. Crack your eggs, which should also be at room temperature, so take these out of the fridge at least 2 hours before baking too. And now you're ready to mix the batter. Butter, brown sugar, white sugar, and vanilla with an electric mixer, either handheld or a stand mixer. You can do this by hand, but to make a really light cake that rises well, you need to really cream the butter and sugars together, which takes maybe 3 minutes with an electric mixer, but a lot longer if you're using a spoon or spatula instead. When the butter and sugar mixture gets lighter in colour and looks creamy instead of chunky or grainy, add the eggs and mix those in until the batter becomes smooth, and now we're going to alternate between the dry and wet ingredients. Start by adding about half of the dry ingredients and mix those into the batter just until you can't see any flour anymore, and then add the wet ingredients. Only mix until everything is incorporated, because overmixing will make the cake tough and dense. Add the rest of the dry ingredients, mix to combine, and then I like to use a spatula to scrape down to the bottom of the mixing bowl to check that everything has mixed together and that there aren't any clumps of flour or other ingredients stuck down there. Divide the batter between 3 greased pans, and I have conversions for different sizes of cakes on the recipe on BritishGirlBakes.com, where you'll also find the ingredients in grams and cups, and you can toggle between them. Bake the cakes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes, and try to resist that rich banana scent when they come out of the oven. Let the cakes cool slightly in the pans for 5 minutes before you turn them over onto a wire rack, and that gives them a chance to firm up a bit, so they don't crumble. When they've cooled completely, you can trim off any domes to make perfectly flat cake layers, and then assemble your cake. I like to fill and frost this with my cream cheese frosting, which smooths and pipes really well, but it also pairs well with vanilla, chocolate, and caramel. Cream cheese frosting can be tricky, so for the best results, chill your cake in the freezer for 15 minutes before frosting it. This will make it less wobbly, so you can spread and smooth the frosting more easily. I always recommend doing 2 layers of frosting. A very thin layer first, called a crumb coat, to trap any crumbs that come off the cake, and then a final coat, which is thicker, and since this layer will be visible, it's worth taking a bit more time to get the frosting smooth. I share all of my tips and tricks in my cream cheese frosting tutorial, and the link is in the video description. To decorate this cake really quickly, I like to add texture, spinning the cake as you slowly drag an offset spatula or the back of a spoon up the sides of the cake. So simple, but stunning. This banana cake can be stored in the fridge for a week, but it tastes best at room temperature, so take it out 2 to 4 hours before you serve it so that the cake and frosting warm up and soften. For the neatest slices, run your knife under hot water before cutting into this. Yum, yum, yum. The key to this cake is to use very ripe bananas, which have the most flavour and sweetness. In case your bananas don't have those black specks on them yet, here's a hack to ripen them quickly. Put them on a baking tray in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes, and you'll see the skins turn black. When they're cool enough to touch, peel them, and they'll be soft, and you'll notice their sweet smell straight away. Let them cool and then use them in this recipe. Get this recipe and all of my other recipes and tutorials on BritishGirlBakes.com, and visit my cake school for hundreds of cake decorating techniques and designs. Join my Club Plus for access to every master course, mini course, and live workshop on my cake school. Thank you for watching.